afternoon, so we're going to get started. I'm Nan Baker, State Representative for the 16th Ohio House District, representing western suburbs of Cuyahoga County, which is Westlake, Rocky River, North Olmsted, Bay Village, and Fairview Park. I also have with me today is Representative Slaby, who is a primary co-sponsor of this bill. Representative Slaby, what areas do you represent?
Thank you, Representative Baker. I represent the 41st House District, which is the west and the north side of Summit County. Presently, the district will change, and the new district will be the 38th District, which will become the west side of Summit and the west side of Stark County.
Very good. Mine does not change, so we are one of the few that did not have a change. But as I stated in my testimony earlier today in the Criminal Justice Committee, it is really a privilege to co-sponsor this bill, House Bill 488, along with Representative Slaby. Members of the Rape Crisis Center brought this need to my attention, and I'm thankful that we can create legislation that will assist not only those that are victims of sexual assault, but for all victims of crime. It is important to note that my involvement is on a legislative level. I am so grateful to the Rape Crisis Center across Ohio for the fine work that they do, and it's a privilege to support them with the legislation here today. You know, it's one thing to be in the trenches helping those that are in need, and another to actually have a part in that, as we're here today and explaining what this House Bill 488 is all about. The most modest increase in court costs from $9 to $15 for a misdemeanor and a $30 to $50 for a felony has not been raised since 1998 and will be, as it is now, paid for by the convicted criminal. Also, the newly created Ohio Rape Crisis Trust Fund of $100 charged for either a felony or misdemeanor conviction will be a welcome funding source to offer supportive services to victims of rape and sexual abuse. As stated earlier in the Criminal Justice Committee, 1 in 6 Ohio women experience rape in her lifetime. Today, there are nearly 750,000 adult women living in Ohio who are survivors of rape. The count is even higher when you include men and children. Despite these staggering numbers, far less than half of Ohio's 88 counties are home to rape crisis centers. Several rape crisis programs have closed in the last decade, even as more and more rape survivors have come forward seeking help. By increasing costs paid by sex offenders, we are saving costs for victims. According to experts, each rape costs more than $150,000, as rape survivors are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression, 13 times more likely to abuse alcohol, and 26 times more likely to abuse drugs. Sexual assault survivors also experience reduced income in adulthood as a result of victimization in adolescence, with a lifetime income loss estimated at $241,600. These statistics are all documented. If you'd like to have those documentations, I can certainly give those to you. Crisis intervention and counseling services can decrease the negative effects of a sexual assault and expedite the survivor's opportunity to return to work. The modest increase in court cost funding, along with the Ohio Rape Crisis Program Trust Fund, will be able to address several concerns, as the lack of available and centralized information on assistance, the challenges in prosecuting cases, education on awareness and prevention, lack of training, and the limited amount of resources are all in need of funding. These needs are urgent and they are critical. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you House Bill 488, and Representative Slaby, after he says a few words, we will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Representative Baker. It's my honor and privilege to be able to join as a primary sponsor of this bill for a couple of different reasons. First of all, as you may or may not know, in one of my former lives, I was Summit County prosecuting attorney for 14 years. One of the most difficult, if not the most difficult case to prosecute would be a rape or sexual abuse type cases. We were fortunate back in the 80s to have a Rape Crisis Center and also to have a Victims Assistance Program. And I can't tell you that how much that has helped our victims that were put through double trauma. And I say double trauma because obviously they were traumatized at the time of the offense, but then we as the prosecutor had to put them back through the process, relive that terrible, terrible thing that happened to them, and recount it not only to themselves in their own mind and to prosecutor, but then to a judge and a jury of their peers. So having a support staff certainly helps them through the process, but also is there to assist them even after the process takes place. So I can't tell you how much that would help an individual that is a victim of this type of sexual assault or rape get through the system, adjust to what they would be put through in the court system, because it's not an easy system to get through, and being cross-examined on the stand is very, very difficult under normal circumstances. And when you have the emotional trauma as well as the physical trauma, we could use all the help we can get, and certainly the victim needs even more help than the prosecution.
Thank you.